my God, I can finally talk about it. Do you know how hard it was to keep all of the crazy events that took place in The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, Episode 1, a secret? Oh my God, we have so much to talk about in this video, so I'm not going to waste any time. If you didn't watch the episode, click off this video right now because I guarantee you we are about to dive into some very heavy spoilers, and I would not want you to be spoiled for anything that happens in this show. Period. I'm serious. You better click off of this video because we're gonna jump right in, starting right now. This episode truly, in every sense of the word, felt like a movie. And not only that, okay, all right, first, it felt like a movie, and that's a big thing. But there's oh my God, there's so much to talk about here, guys. As you guys know, I have been very, very critical of The Walking Dead over the years, especially shows like Fear the Walking Dead, things like that. I give shit where I can. You should know that by now. But this show was the first episode was literally like perfect. I'm not kidding when I say it was one of the best episodes of The Walking Dead, period. And maybe there's some of you out there who don't agree. Maybe there's things that you didn't like, whether it's the pacing, whether it's the way Rick was, the CRM, blah, blah, blah. Overall, we're going to talk about it all in this video, and I'd love to hear your comments down below. But everything about this episode was perfect and worthy of me saying, bravo, Scott Gimple. Seriously, bravo, Scott Gimple.
It was perfect.
Hey, you. Do you like The Walking Dead? Do you like other shows like Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, and all those things? Well, if you subscribe to me, you're going to get the most honest takes on YouTube about all things TV, all things film. If that sounds interesting to you, please feel free to join. The subscribe button is right down there. And 80% of you apparently aren't subscribed. That's crazy. 80% of the people watching these videos, it's a big number. Again, you don't have to, but it is free. And with that out of the way, let's get right back into the video. This is just insane. And again, I think there may be a little bit of recency bias for me. My first experience watching this episode was in a movie theater where Denai Guerrera and Andrew Lincoln were. So there was all the excitement and anticipation of that, as well as seeing something we've been waiting for 7+ years, I think, at this point. You know what I mean? There's a lot of that bias in there. But over the past day and a half that I've had time to reflect on this, I've been trying to give myself the time to sit back and reflect on the episode. And the more I think about it, the more I just genuinely think this was a fantastic episode of the show. There's so much to talk about. One of the first things that I want to talk about is that we got a lot of answers to a lot of questions. Things like, what is an A or a B? Things like, what has Rick been up to this entire time? Why hasn't Rick been able to escape? Who is the CRM? Where is the CRM? And why hasn't Rick reunited with anyone yet? Most importantly, where is Rick? We got answers to all of it. And I gotta say, I'm gonna give some brief explanations into all of those things and more. One of the first things is the whole A or B thing. I was counting on that being extremely cheesy. It wasn't. It made perfect sense. From what I recall, and again, I only watched this at the premiere, so I could be dead wrong, but from what I recall, an A is a fighter, essentially, and a B is a civilian. It's either that or the other way. One or the other. Those are the separators. So the Bs essentially live in Philadelphia. They live in the city, have a normal, safe life, blah, blah, blah. They're people that the city recognizes are kind of like weak links, but they just want them to be safe. Whereas the As are the fighters. And no matter what, none of them, no one, either A or B, no one is allowed to escape the Civic Republic or the CRM, one of the Major General Beale's people. I don't know what you call them, whatever. No one's allowed to escape because no one wants to know that this group exists. The CRM, they don't want anyone to know that they exist. Even the other alliances, so Omaha and whatever it is, they don't even know where the main Civic Republic is, which is Philadelphia. And I gotta say, that is another thing that I loved about this episode for me, personally. I grew up in Philadelphia. I grew up literally 10 minutes across the bridge from Philadelphia. And they filmed the show in Jersey City, which is like where I live, pretty much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so crazy because I see the filming locations in Jersey City, and then I see the amazing shots of Philadelphia and the Camden waterfront. And again, I'm going a little off course, but it matters here because those shots were so amazing, especially for it all being filmed in Jersey City. It's insane. This reminded me a lot in that way of The Last of Us. The Last of Us had a phenomenal set piece on all fronts. Everything we got from that show was phenomenal. I felt the same way about this first episode. The set pieces of Philadelphia and the broken city were incredible. The shots of Rick looking out from the Camden waterfront into the city were just breathtaking. And it's crazy because that's a place I've sat in my life. I know exactly where that is in the real world. I don't think he was actually there, but whatever. The point I'm making is the visuals were great, and I liked the world building we got with things like what is an A and what is a B. You could clearly feel the $80 million budget here. And we're going to get into some other things you could clearly feel later, but back to the whole A and B thing. We got an answer to that. I think that makes a lot of sense. I don't remember what list I had, but the next one in my head is, where is Rick? Well, we got the answer to that. He's in the Civic Republic, and he's trapped. And that answers why hasn't he come back yet? Well, because the Civic Republic does not allow anyone out, which is crazy. And I liked that they gave a reason, a good reason for all of that stuff. So the people like Rick, they provide for the city. They do things to build energy. They kill walkers to build energy. They do blah, 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 and they're trapped there. And they can't leave because if they leave, they're threatened with death or they're threatened with staying in under really heavy force. And off the bat, we get literally off the bat, I can't believe it's taken this long to get to some of the spoilers, but we get one of the craziest things, not even like 2 minutes into the episode. Rick, after I think this was his third attempt at escaping, we see him cut his own hand off to try to escape.
Brother, what's that?
And now there was a lot of leaked things out there and a lot of people speculating if he lost a hand. But yeah, he did. And he did in the first 2 minutes of the episode. And that's crazy. And that's why I think I loved this episode so much. It gave no fucks. It just jumped into stuff. And I liked that. And you could easily argue that the pacing was a little too fast. I understand that we're going to get to that at some point in this video, but the counter to that is you need it to be. This episode is one of 6. You know what I mean? They only have 6 in a limited time series to tell this story. And I understand maybe they're going to do a season 2, blah, blah, blah. I don't really think they're going to do a season 2. I think they're going to do more of a reunion thing later. Maybe we'll get into that. But regardless, you have 6 episodes to tell the complete story of Rick and Michonne. You need things to move fast. And I loved that they did in this episode because not only did we get incredible answers to questions, but it felt like a movie pace. And that's not a bad thing. I understand some people thought it was a little too weird with the pacing, but I didn't. I thought it worked really well. This felt like something I could have gone to the movie theater and watched. And again, maybe that's part of my bias. You know, I did see this in a theater. In general, I don't think that that's the reason it feels that way. I think it comes down to the crunchy pacing that this show is. They don't have time to fuck around, at all. Yes, they have to tell the story, and I'm so glad we got answers to questions. And meanwhile, I wanted them to visually show us some things like what happened immediately following the helicopter and all of that stuff. But I don't care because I liked what they did with the visual storytelling and the written storytelling to tell us where Rick is and why he didn't leave and how in despair he is to the point where he cut off his own hand to try to escape. And I know I'm geeking out over that, but I am because it's partly something that kind of happens similar to the comics. Obviously, totally different circumstance. In the comics, the governor cuts off Rick's hand, and that's a whole big thing, and that happens really early into the story of The Walking Dead. But I like that we're getting something like that. I like that we're finally seeing a comic adaptation of something that made Rick Grimes Rick Grimes. Him having no hand is just awesome, and it's crazy that it happened within 2 minutes of the episode. So as we kind of discussed, we get answers to the A and B thing, we get answers to where Rick has been, and of course, he's writing to Michonne, he's doing all of that, and it's really nice to see all of that, but it's told so fast, and I don't have a problem with it. I thought I would but I don't have a problem with it because every minute of this episode was jam-packed with something. There was no time to tell certain things. And maybe, I wonder if they're going to do kind of like a Pulp Fiction sort of thing in this show where, like, we saw huge events in this episode. Obviously, we saw Rick cutting off his hand. Later in the episode, we got the crazy reunion of Rick and Michonne, which we're going to get into, and I'm surprised I'm 10 minutes into recording this video and we haven't already. But not only did we get all of that, I think because we got all of that this early on in the season, maybe we're going to do a Pulp Fiction, sort of thing where it's kind of interwoven throughout the show. So we might get more answers over time. Jadis has to be incorporated into the story somehow. We know she's in this show. So at some point, they're going to have to explain a little bit further. But I think this one did just enough. This one was very Rick-centric. We got a lot of really great stuff. And one of the things that I liked the most is a lot of what we got was stuff we saw in the trailers. So a lot of the show is completely uncharted territory, and I fucking love that. I love it. I think this review is a little sloppy, and I had initially gone into this review having written a script. Like, I wanted to make this clean. But honestly, I think my raw emotions mean way more than anything I write on page here. The episode was really that good that I just have to share this with you. And it feels so good to do because I was in a room with like 100-something people who were in the know, and that's it. That's it. Other than the LA people and a couple people who got the early screeners, it was so hard to keep this stuff in, man. Rick cuts it off his fucking hand. Michonne and Rick reunite in the first episode. Like, I'm telling you, this episode just defied all expectations for me in such an amazing way. And this is why, even though I've criticized Scott Gimple over time, I also have always recognized that he's written some of the best episodes of The Walking Dead. I don't know who is on the credit list for this episode specifically as to who the exact writers were, who the exact directors are, but regardless, this has been in plans for 6+ years, even before that. And we were learning when, like at the early screening event I was at, they were saying that they were in development of an idea for an exit strategy and a story since season 4 of The Walking Dead. So this has been an idea for a long time. So this had a lot of time to grow and develop. And what it turned into was so good. So seriously, bravo, Scott Gimple and the whole crew, because everything works here. And like I said, back to the original part, this really felt like a movie. Like, from the color grading, from the way this was shot on digital, to the shots we got, the music, the scores, which were very, very triumphant, almost like something out of like an action movie. Just everything about this felt more like a movie than it ever did a TV show. And yes, sure, the runtime was probably a little over an hour, so it's more in line with a TV show, but it felt more like a quick movie than a long TV show, if that makes any sense. It had the pacing of a film, and I loved it. And that's where it comes back to what I had already said. Yes, things were rushed. Like, we got the chopping off of Rick's hand, like, instantaneously. But that was fine because it told a story really well. And I liked everything they kind of intertwined. Honestly, the only thing I wasn't a huge fan of, which a lot of people in my screening when I saw it loved it, but I wasn't a huge fan of the whole Rick and Michonne dreams that took up a decent chunk of the episode. So if there is like one like complaint, I guess technically I have about it, it's that I didn't really enjoy that, but I think they needed to do it to tell the overall story at how in the beginning, because they did some cuts, in the beginning, Rick was really depressed about being away from his family, but eventually I like that we got a whole thing where Rick decided he's never going to see them again. There's no escaping, so it's time to write off Michonne and everyone. And while there's part of me that kind of felt that that was so out of Rick's character to do, I think they did a really good job in this episode displaying that Rick is in kind of a desperate situation and there's nothing he could do. And I love that we got that. And I love that they explained it in a way that I felt was rather believable. I could see some people making the argument that it wasn't because of the pacing and things like that. But upon my first viewing, I thought it was believable. I thought it was a good story. And speaking of believability, I have to bring this up now because it's fresh in my head. Andrew Lincoln is at his best here. I arguably think this is the best Rick Grimes we've ever seen. In my early review, I mentioned that there was elements to this episode where it felt like the snot bubble Rick that was in season 7, episode 1. That really holds true. Like, it really does. Some of the acting we got from moments like with Okafor, things like that, where he's talking about how his wife is his choice, his life is his choice. That was some of the best display of acting that I've seen ever. And it's crazy. And I know Movie Fusion, who was also at the premiere, was talking about this in his early review, where you see Andrew Lincoln in real life, and that's Andrew Lincoln. But then you see Rick Grimes, and it's like, that's a totally different person. Like, there's actors who it's like, oh, that's Chris Pratt playing Chris Pratt, or you know what I mean? I'm just making up a name. No. That is Rick Grimes. There's no Andrew Lincoln there. There's no one else. That is Rick Grimes. It's truly, truly masterful. And I was a little skeptical at the beginning because he spent so much time away from the show. I was skeptical that it wasn't going to be good in his favor and that it would be a little hard for him to get into the role. I was dead wrong. This is seriously, I think this was the best performance he did. And that's because he's also accompanied by marvelous actors, and that's not the only reason, but he is accompanied by amazing actors from Terry O'Quinn, I think his name is, the one from Lost, but then the actor who played Okafor, and the female actress who is also like a partner to Rick in the CRM, Civic Republic, whatever you call it. That cast so far that we've seen is just phenomenal. And even the other characters that accompanied it, like that one guy that Rick meets inside, and he's like the comedic relief and stuff like that. I even liked him. It didn't feel like The Walking Dead, but it felt like The Walking Dead, and that's why I think I liked it. I'm jumping around so much, but guys, this is just a brain dump of everything that I feel about this episode. But let me pull it in a little bit. Let me get there. Rick Grimes, or Andrew Lincoln, did such a phenomenal job. From the script he was given was perfect. His acting was immaculate, top-notch, some of the best acting I've seen, and the cast around him really just leveled that up and made it so good. So on every front, it was just masterful. Like, it really was. He was so good. There were so many emotional moments in this episode where you truly believed he was in this circumstance. And again, I'm going to come back to it once more. The scene with Okafor and him, that orchestrated fight that they had, was brilliant. This was well after he had lost his hand. Rick had tried to kill Okafor in his bed and all that stuff. And it was just so well. The choreography of the fight was great, but Rick's monologue was brilliant. And all of the side monologues we got with Rick narrating things was brilliant. It was so great to see that Rick was trying to write to Michonne and all of that all along. The only thing about that I didn't get is Rick burnt the phones that he had droned Michonne and I guess Judith on. But I don't know how they're going to answer that question in particular because, like, how do you know what Judith looked like? You know what I mean? I was a little confused by that. I'll be honest. I was a little confused by that, but whatever. Anyway, overall, in general, everything we got with him and all of the storytelling we got to see where he was and why he gave up essentially looking was just believable because Andrew Lincoln is so believable as an actor. No, I shouldn't even say Andrew Lincoln because that's Rick Grimes. There is no Andrew Lincoln there. That's what I mean. So fucking good. And yes, this episode was very Rick-centric until the end. Regardless, let me get to it. After the whole fight sequence and stuff we got with Okafor, Rick putting his head down, deciding that he's just going to stay in the Civic Republic because Okafor was trying to build him up essentially to being like a leader, blah, blah, blah. We then see it's 9 years. It's up to date with our Walking Dead main show. And Rick and Okafor are kind of like buddy-buddy. He's telling a whole story. They're on a helicopter. And he's telling this whole story, Rick is, to Okafor about his dad and a burning house. And you know what? Honestly, I don't remember the exact intricacies and all of that stuff. But out of nowhere, we see this like thing hit Okafor in the center of the chest, and then the dude just blows up. Like, straight up blows up. And I thought, I'm sorry, like, okay, yes, it's amazing that we got a Rick and Michonne reunion. It's amazing that we got the Rick cutting off his hand thing, but that was fucking nuts. Like, everyone in the theater when we were watching it was screaming. Everyone. Because it was just so unexpected. You just introduced this character. He's kind of a villain, but you also, like, understood him, and again, the cast is amazing, because he was great, but The dude just dies in the first episode in the craziest, almost the boys-like way. The dude just fucking exploded. Literally exploded. That was nuts. And then the helicopter went down, and I don't know how it's going to sound like when you're watching it on a laptop or on a TV, but in a theater, man, it sounded like a movie. Like, it's, oh my God. The helicopter going down was nuts. I was actually genuinely scared for Rick. Anyway, someone blew up the helicopter. Rick escapes with a couple guys. Someone in the background is killing people, and out of nowhere, that person who's killing people gets up to Rick to kill him, pulls off his mask, and it was fucking Michonne. Oh my God, I was screaming, guys. I was screaming. I'm sorry, I'm fangirling extremely, extremely hard in this video, but I don't care. It was awesome. And yes, we all kind of knew it was coming. Like, when you were watching the episode, I'm sure you kind of felt that when that plane started to go down or the helicopter, you were like, I think this is probably Michonne. Is this Michonne? No, this can't be Michonne. It's only episode 1. That's how I was thinking. I guarantee you that's how a lot of you were thinking. But regardless, even with that, seeing it happen on screen was so cool. It was so damn cool. And we finally got the reunion. And it was, in by far, one of the most unexpected ways I could ever imagine. And I loved it. And I can't wait to see where they bring it over these next 5 episodes. Apparently, the next episode is going to be more Michonne-focused and a little bit of her backstory, so we may not get too much of an answer in this episode. I'd assume we are. Like, I can't imagine they're going to go one whole episode without following that up at all. But they didn't really give us enough, just enough for us to kind of shit our pants and wait for the next episode. And my God, I think you could tell by my excitement and my rambling, I'm very passionate in this episode. I thought it was absolutely outstanding. It truly took me by surprise, blindsided me, all the words, because you guys know I was very skeptical of these spin-offs to begin with. And this one just absolutely took the cake, and I don't know what else to say about it. You could clearly feel the $80 million plus budget. You can clearly observe how masterful the writing and visual storytelling is, and it's on a different level. And you could clearly see that Andrew Lincoln is arguably at the best of his career in this first episode. And it's crazy. I'm talking about this so much because it was so triumphant, because this was more like a movie. No matter what you say, no matter how you see it, this was not like a TV show. This was like a movie. I could have seen this working as a movie, but I'm glad they're doing it in this TV show fashion, because if all 5 episodes are like this, man, we are in for a great 6 weeks. Like, my God. And I don't know what they're going to do after. I truly don't. But what I know is I loved this episode. I loved it. This was one of the best that The Walking Dead has ever made. Guys, there's not enough words. There truly isn't. And I'm rambling too much. I want to take this to the comments. I don't want this to be over because I could keep talking. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump that. I could keep talking about the Rick and Michonne reunion. I could keep talking about how Rick cut off his hand. I could keep talking about the Okafor scene. There's so much there. But really, I think if you're watching this right after it aired, you're probably just as in shock as I am a day later from seeing it. Guys, this was so good. This was so damn good. I'm so excited for next week. You have no idea. I don't even know how to end this video. Tell me what you thought in the comments. I'd love to start a conversation down there. I feel like I was rambling so much and there's still so much. Oh, and the intro sequence, I arguably think it was better than The Walking Dead. I think it was better than Daryl Dixon. I think it was better than Dead City. The music is amazing in the opening sequence, the title intro, whatever you call it. It was so good. It was amazing that it tied into the finale of season 11, and I just liked it overall. The visuals were great. The music was epic. So was the whole score of this entire episode. Again, just felt like a movie. But man, with all of that out of the way, I can't wait to start a healthy conversation down there with you. And until the next one, I will talk to you later. Peace out.